If it's a day called today, we're talking guitars and life. Hey, welcome back everybody to another episode of TED Talks Nuts. No, that's not right. TED Talks Guitars and Life. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, in the last video, what we did is we swapped out what was the Tease ST1 white bone out of one of my Strats that I blacked out, check, with this Guyker red bone in the Washburn because it kind of has this red burst thing going on down there, and I thought that would look cool, Jack, and it does. So before I do much more with this nut by way of filing, so in the train we tune, we get our relief where we want it, we set our action where we want it, we intonate the guitar, and then we address the nut. So because I have tuned the guitar, because I have set my relief, because I was looking at my string action, I got bogged down because my action is not where I want it. So guys, if my action isn't where I want it, there ain't no sense in intonating the guitar or filing that nut. We tune, relief, action. So toward that end, today in this video what we're going to do is we're going to shim this neck. You may remember it came with a little bit of balsa wood shim, not very thick. So I'm going to be putting a little bit of a thicker shim in to angle this neck more down that way so that I can level my saddles and still have the action that I prefer. Let's get into it. Now you may recall in one of the past videos that I talked about one of the great principles that my dear brother, Two Bike Mike, encouraged me with not too long ago, and that is, while you're setting up a guitar, man, you don't want to use your good strings, because what might happen is that you might break a string, and if you're going to break a string, you might as well break one that you don't care about breaking. So the strings on this guitar at the moment are the strings that came in the Washburn Sonamaster Take the Stage pack. And yeah, they're not fantastic strings, but they did all right. They certainly served me well while I was in the process of getting this guitar set up. In fact, all of the playing in the finale, you just thought it was over, I guess. Yeah, in the playing vid, a couple videos back, you can find in the playlist if you're interested in that. If you hang on the channel, what you know is, oh, and by the way, if it's your first time hanging out, come back anytime and hang out at TED Talks Guitars and Life. Well, if you listen to the playing samples, interestingly enough, all of that playing was done using these old jacked up strings out of the pack. I had yet to put my preferred strings on, which will be 9s. Ernie Ball, once we get to that point, my friends. So, we're not quite there yet. So I have loosened the strings all loosey-goosey like. I'm going to apply my capo up here pretty close to the body of this guitar. As close as I can get it. That's going to hold my strings sort of taut, sort of kind of, when I pop this neck off, Jack. So let me grab, whoa, longest screwdriver in the world, Jack. Great story about this screwdriver, man. I told it not too long ago, and so I will not reiterate at this moment in time. Man, what do you guys got going on, man? What you working on? What is happening in your world, man? You working on guitars? You got me playing in the background, man. What is happening? Put it in the comments, man. Let me know what you're doing. Projects you're working on, stuff you're doing, stuff you dig, man. Man, I pray that your day is filled with people who love and affirm you, man, champion you, man, people who support you and encourage you, man, like so many of you do for me on the channel. By the way, man, thank you guys for hanging out. And thanks for all those who take the time to encourage me in my craziness, man. It means the world to me, guys. It really does. And I know you're not just, you know, making stuff up. I know your hearts are sincere to encourage me, and I really, truly appreciate it. All right, so a couple points of interest. I don't know where all that came from. But there you go. I'm going to flip this over for your... Oh man, all that sawdust just went all over my guitar. Anyway. Anybody scared? Don't be scared, man. Don't be scared, guys. It's just wood, man. It's just wooden screws. It's not even a guitar, really, if you think about it. You know what makes a guitar? When you play it, Jack. Alright, so you can tell. Let me get you over here in the action. You can tell that it had this balsa wood shim in it, and you can also tell that that wood just caved right on into it. So because that shim is really, at this point, just creating a level pocket. That's weird, man. I'm gonna put my shim right on top of that one, Jack. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Put in the comments, guys. I'm not gonna see it for a week and a half, but put it in the comments. It'll help me the next guitar I work on, and I believe there will be a next one, my friends. I do believe there will be a next one. I'm gonna use one of these. I mentioned that my insurance company sends out cards, but not just the card, but everything around the card, and this kind of, you know, almost credit card thickness plastic, which I have found works really good for a shim and a guitar neck. So I'm going to do a little measuring here and see if I can't cut this bad boy, man. But yeah, it's been a good journey, man. Guys, I don't know, by the time you see this, I don't know where we will be. And guys, I don't have to be anywhere. It's not like my life depends on getting to 1,000 subscribers. I'm just making a comment. We may in fact be at 1,000 subscribers by the time you see this video. Who would have thought, man? My crazy adventures, man, that anybody would want to hang out and watch the carnage. That is Ted working on guitars. But apparently, man, something, I'm gonna say it, guys, something we are doing is helping people. I recognize, man, the channel isn't me. The channel is y'all, man. You guys putting stuff in the comments, sharing your stories, man. Those of you who hang out on Tuesday night on the lives, man, at 7:30 p.m. Man, you guys are the channel, Jack. That's just the truth. See, I'm going to think something like that right there, guys. Something like that right there. Now, I think a smart man, that's me, would maybe accommodate for the screws so that I don't screw through that plastic. So let me move you just, if you don't mind. Stand by. I'm going to kind of make a couple marks here. I want to accommodate the screw. I don't necessarily want to screw through that plastic. There we go, something like that. Hey, by the way, man, somebody was asking me, I can't remember who, and I do apologize for that. But somebody was asking me how I Dremeled this, and I'm sorry that I didn't get that on film. This might be an opportune time, though, for me to do a little show and tell. Where's my stuff? Come on, guys. Who keeps moving my stuff, man? Seriously. What is the deal here? What is the deal? Where's my Dremel? Where is the Dremel, man? Here it is. Crisis averted. I found it. So the way I did the Dremel, guys, I took my Chokmax little handheld Dremel. I got it for 16 bucks on Amazon. It's not stellar, but it's done everything I've asked it to do, and a little bit more actually. It's got this little sandpaper attachment on it. It comes with all these kind of accessories, and yeah. So I just turned that on to number 2 and just kind of went around like that until it was flush with the body. That's what I used to Dremel this neck. Now, in terms of around the bridge, I actually got adventurous and used this little doohickey right here, man. This saw. Hey, speaking of dremeling, man, I think old Brant is doing his first dremeling project, man. Hey, Brant, that'll tell you how far ahead I am in my videos, man. Whatever today is, when you're watching this. You were talking to me this morning about you tackling the dremeling project. So there you go, man. That'll give you some time, space, continuum bookmarks. So, alright. I'm going to cut this kind of pilot holes, if you will, for this shim using my... The only problem with this is that it's not really one piece of plastic, it's like laminated. And so I've got to really kind of cut it differently. Can't like use scissors or anything, so I'm using my Snips, the all-purpose Snips. Except the only thing this snip doesn't want to do is cut bass strings. Not bass strings, but compared to treble strings on a guitar. It really does not like those at any stretch of the imagination. So, anyway, I'm looking at some different snips. Sean and I, my dear brother, plenty old bass, been talking about some tools and apparatus that maybe I need to investigate for the channel, just to make things a little bit more copacetic. But yeah, about that. So yeah, I'm cutting this kind of sort of off camera so I don't have to worry about what you can see and not see, and I can just talk to you if that's okay, man. So it's kind of like Wild Kingdom. You're looking at a Washburn guitar in the wild. Can I talk about Wild Kingdom? Is that like a copyright? Man, I hope not. I don't want to get a copyright strike or anything. Dang. Particularly not for mentioning Wild Kingdom. I mean, is that even on the air anymore? Anybody remember that show? I don't know, man. I didn't really watch it, but I think my grandfather watched it. Somebody watched it. I think I had an uncle, man. He watched it all the time. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to edit all this out. We don't edit anything out. Well, we do edit the mundane things. That's everything. Come on, man. This guy. And the world is full of critics, man. It really, really is, guys. It really, really is. That's all the more reason, man, to have good people in your corner, guys. And I really, again, I'll just say it one more time. That's why I'm so appreciative of each and every one of you, man. I really, really am. So I'm going to stick this in there, something like that. There you go. All right. Yeah. So in theory, by the way, not to be prescriptive, but maybe to be helpful, if you do this kind of thing, I've seen Mike do this, like, I don't know. What are you up to, Mike? 62 guitars? About 62 times, maybe. And, yeah. So he always does it this way. I did watch a vid, man, where a guy did this, and he got, if you're not careful, you can twist the neck all around, and your strings will like get all twisted, and it'll be a bad day for you. So you want to kind of make sure that your strings are not getting bound up. All right, I'm going to slide this neck on in this neck pocket like that. I'm going to do this vertically, my friends, so that I can see what I'm doing. You guys know that I dig and appreciate you, but I got to focus on this right now. Maybe I should fast forward to this part. Please don't put fast forward. How many times can you listen to that riff, man? I don't know, man. I dig that riff. You know what I like about that riff? As far as I know, I didn't steal it. And two, man, I can't get a copyright strike for it. I'm not taking credit for writing that. I'm sure it's just a chord progression I heard at some point along the way and picked up on it, you know. But it ain't no canned music. Every mistake you hear in that riff is me making it. So yeah. But we're making short work of shimming this neck. What do you think, man? Think it'll help? And I hope so. I've had, let's just say, I've had mediocre success doing this with guitars, man. Sometimes I do it and it works out really well. And other times I do it, not so much, man. Not so much. I've had a couple guitars to the shop, and I must have shimmed some of those guitars 2 or 3 times looking for just the right measurement. That's the thing, man. There's no magic formula. You know, is the little piece of balsa wood that was indented in the neck pocket, I mean, plus the plastic insurance card stuff, is that too much? I don't know. Guess what, guys? The only way to find out is to do this, which we have done. All right. So we have a shim in this neck. What we immediately should see when you put a shim in a guitar, the thing that you're going to notice is when you put it back here in the heel, okay, it's going to angle the neck this way. That is going to allow for you to raise your saddles. You see how those saddles are pointing down? Kind of, sort of. Sorry, man, I can't. I need a camera guy or something. Camera girl, I don't know. Need somebody do something with the camera. All right, well, so when you put a shim in the heel of a guitar neck, you're going to have to raise your saddles. Now, hopefully, you're not going to raise them, you know, to the point of like being sky high, but you're not going to get anything down here very well until you raise those up. Okay guys, I have my guitar tuned. I have my guitar reliefed. And I have my guitar action height where I want it. And I've intonated the guitar. One thing that might be helpful. So what you want to do, always best to do this in playing position. Okay, see that? Alright, so if the 12th fret is sharp, that means that your string is too short. So you need to push your saddle toward the bridge. If your 12th fretted octave note is flat, that means your string is too long. So you need to turn the saddle screw to where your saddle moves toward the nut. Maybe that'll be helpful for somebody. What I did for a long time is I put that on a post-it note and I put it somewhere where I looked at it every time I worked on a guitar. We have tuned this guitar. We have put relief in this neck. We have adjusted the action. And I've done that numerous times in the fast forwarding vid, okay? Many times. But I'm at the final stage where I now have tunage, I have relief, I have the action height that I'm going to go with for right now with these strings. I'm going to put my strings on it later. I have my intonation set, okay? Because I'm going to put 9s on this guitar and these are 9s. These saddles won't move unless I get out my screwdriver and move them. So I should be good. However, after every string change, you always want to check your intonation. Okay, now, that sounded prescriptive. I do apologize. The last step in train is N for nut. So now we come full circle to the red bone nut and me filing that. So if I were to look at that nut on the first fret and I were to take my MusicNomad, or you could guys use whatever you want, okay? This is just handy, so I'm going to use it. This is my nut gauge. So some people say you want 0.020, some people say you want 0.18. If you put a feeler gauge in there and you can hear the note ring true, your nut is just a little too high. Now, that's all player feel and it's all player preference. Another way of doing that is to do the old fret the 3rd fret and see how much relief you have here. And if you can push that a lot, you might want to come down on it. If you can live with it, don't worry about it. Everything with guitar playing is player preference. Shim the neck. Action is much better. Only thing I need to do now is play this guitar to live with it for a while, put my strings on it, and rock on down the road, Jack. Well, as always, wherever you are in your guitar journey, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you, Jack. Rock on with your bad selves, everybody. We'll catch you down the road.